Hello and welcome to another episode of DCU Daily. And today we're talking about Joker, Folie, Deux. And of course, we talked about, the trailer, the teaser trailer just blew us away. We have been speculating, what the story is going to be like. We have already talked about like some of the songs that are going to be in the movie. And we now know like Todd Phillips' sort of impression of, or not impression, he's the director of the movie. His approach on the subject of a musical was less so that of a traditional musical, even a jukebox musical. He just says that there's music in the movie. There's sequences, which the trailer certainly, shows that off. But today we wanted to get into what those songs will be, and maybe we can sort of try to pick the mind of Todd Phillips because we don't have the official soundtrack. We don't know the list of songs that are going to be in the movie. But we wanted to just kind of dive in and potentially pick out a few things, and maybe my choices, John's choices, and then see how close we are to the real thing when we do get the official announcement of what the soundtrack is going to be like. So to get into all that, of course, as always, John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty damn good. Uh, but more Joker talk, that's certainly something, I guess. I mean, hopefully people are into this. It's kind of a different type of casting, but we'll see. But yeah, I got some good picks. You got some good picks. I try to like think of like what we've only gotten one song technically. Is that's
Well, there was this song in the trailer, and then the song that was announced, that's entertainment, right? Or that something entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, two. No, or
Yeah,
we
the
don't know the
two. I
tra-
mean,
the
the one that
trailer.
was in the trailer. I
That
guess that
doesn't
could.
always make the movie.
Yeah, so I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know. Do you want to go first? Do I want to go first? What do you want to do?
Oh, dude, I mean, okay, yeah. So this is, I guess what we
Your
we
show.
we
You
got
do it
clever with
first.
this. No. We got. I was just gonna go through like we got clever with it. Instead of calling it Fancast Friday, we're calling it Songcast Friday. Okay.
It's
Bad
fine.
bad joke. But yeah, I mean, here we go. Here's the list that we want to get through. I think this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of music that we should be seeing in this. Like you sent me this, and I was just laughing my ass off,
Yeah,
just
I found this from
thinking.
in a group I'm in. I wanted to give the guy credit because it was a funny post. I think it was probably a DC
Oh my
group I was
god.
in, but yeah, I felt this was really funny. Because I'm like, okay, the
It's just
first two are like kind of make sense, and then I saw Megalovania. I'm like, oh, it's a fucking joke. And then yeah, like
yep.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm just Ken. I'm a believer. But I'm like,
Dude,
honestly,
I'm a
I can kind of see
believer.
Fall Out Boy. Not gonna lie, but
Yeah, I mean, come on. Welcome to the internet. Dude, I'm a believer, and I'm just Ken would just floor me if they were in this movie
yeah, oh
somehow.
yeah, that would be.
Gosh, just Shrek vibes, going all the way back to 2004 or 2003, whenever the first Shrek movie came out. Or I forget, was that in the second movie? It was one of the Shrek movies. And of course, I'm
Yeah.
I'm just Ken. That's just too fresh in the mind. I mean, that would be super meta because this film was filming while Barbie was becoming like a runaway hit. So Todd Phillips is like, yeah, why not? Like, let's throw it in there. We have the rights. It's the same studio, so like, why not? But I mean, in all seriousness, though, I mean, if there is such a thing when we're talking about this topic, because I'll be honest with you, I just had a lot of fun picking out some of the songs. So, in the trailer, like you watch the trailer, I mean, there's some hints if you look at some of the musical sequences they show you, especially the ones when they're on kind of like a stage. I got the sense that they're probably trying to pay homage to certain very iconic musicals of the past, like of the golden age of Hollywood. When I think it was the '60s was like the era of musicals, and we've talked about like
50s
Singing
and
in the
60s,
Rain,
yeah.
'50s and '60s, right? Like and or like Purple Rain, like Saturday Night Fever. There's like the different eras of musicals, and of course, the A Star Is Born, which every era of Hollywood has had A Star Is Born, and Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
of course, was in the latest one. So there's a lot of pedigree there, and so why not? And yeah, here's some pictures from the movie again. Just if you guys have not seen the trailer yet, what the heck are you doing? Go watch it because you get to see stuff like this. Like I wonder what song is playing in the background while they're dancing on the stage, and then all of a sudden they're outside what looks like
The
Arkham.
Bitch Is Back by Elton John.
Yeah.
That's not one of my choices. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the music. So I, of course, Lady Gaga's in the movie, so I kind of went the route of just I grew up on some of these songs. I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's do Bad Romance. It's on the thumbnail. It's gotta be in the movie. It so describes like perfectly what this movie's dynamic could possibly be. And then I read the synopsis of the music video. Like it's a German-esque techno hit by Lady Gaga utilizing her name as a Teutonic chant. I'm like, okay. And then she's abducted in a surreal bathhouse by costumed otherworldly supermodels and auctioned off into slavery before getting a fury revenge. I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't sound like Joker Folie, but it could totally just fit into that story. So and certainly the that was that was an era, that was a vibe for that era of Lady Gaga. And why not use that? I mean, maybe they'll revoice it. It will probably be more, maybe it will be a haunting version of the song, but I'm down. What do you think about Bad Romance?
I think it might be too on the nose.
Two on the
I think it might be
nose.
a little bit much. You have Lady Gaga. It's a bad romance. I don't know about that.
Or maybe dude, it would work so well if this was like the song that plays over the credits. Like, the credits hit and then you hit like the
Like it's like an
mum.
acoustic version or something like that. That
Yes.
would be
Yeah,
maybe I could see that.
that would be
But
perfect. That would be so good. And then
uh
Francis Lawrence directed it. God, yeah, that guy's got credits. Anyway, I'll let you
um
go with your pick. What do you
I
got?
have my first pick is something I feel like could be played at either the very beginning or the end of the film, depending on where Arthur is as a character. But I think "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails could be a good version. Could be a good good song, and that version specifically, because the Johnny Cash version is the superior version. Even Trent Reznor said that. So, but I feel like Nine Inch Nails definitely would fit this, like, maybe kind of like vibe a little bit more, or even like a or even like a cover of it, but like similar to that vibe. I feel like that could definitely work. Maybe for a more surreal, acid trippy sort of sequence, I
Mm,
could definitely see that. But like maybe Arthur is just like, he's in the asylum. He's just kind of shit. He's hurt. So like I feel like that could, you know, work. And it's just a great song, and I feel like that could like weirdly work for this type of movie. And then maybe, or it could like work at the end, like if like Harley like leaves the Joker, or he leaves her and he's hurt again, so he's alone once again.
alone, yeah, yeah.
I feel like it could also work there if that's what is planned. Obviously, if that's not planned, it wouldn't work. But I like this song. I feel like it could weirdly fit here, and I
Dude, I
know.
love the version of the song from the Logan trailer, the Johnny Cash one, "Hurt."
Oh
Like
yeah,
that,
John.
just that
It's
trailer.
I remember when Johnny Cash released that version, which was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor was like, I fucking hate him because like he fucking made a better song. It's his song now. I can't.
It's
Like
just
I fucking
it's
made this
just
song in the early '90s. He comes around and now it's his. It's his song now. Like I can't say anything now because it's his. But even though I will say the Nine Inch Nails one is still very good, it's still a great song. The Cash one's way better, but I feel like the Nine Inch Nails one fits with the Joker vibe a little bit more, and I feel like it could work in a lot of different scenarios. Even though it's probably not going to be something Todd Phillips would do, because I feel like he's going to go for more like of the time, more musical songs, and more like classic rock. But I feel like Hurt fits well enough that you could probably make it work. So
yeah.
obviously we'll see, but I feel like Hurt definitely fits the vibe.
I mean, yeah, I would love to hear that. That's that, and certainly as far as where it fits into the story. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with the Johnny Cash version of that song. Because it just, I mean, I knew about the song before Logan, but like that trailer just like, I mean, that's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. I think it's probably a top three. It might be the best movie, the best Marvel movie ever made. Period.
Oh
Logan.
yeah, easily.
Um,
It's like
it's
no
just
fucking question. Like don't
it's
get me wrong,
just
Spider-Man
yeah.
2, Days of Future Past, Winter Soldier, they're all up there,
Hmm.
but
I don't think
Logan
you
is
can. It's
just
just
Logan's just another level, man.
it's
It's just
another
another
level.
fucking level.
It's yeah.
It's it hits and
Yep.
it hits hard and it's
Hmm.
perfect. So
There's very few movies that I remember like crying to it at the end. By the end, and I'm like, I teared up for Logan. I teared
oh
up
yeah.
for Furious 7. And there's others. There's a there's I've grew up in a lot of Bollywood movies where they draw the emotion out of you. But then, yeah, as far as like these kind of movies, like comic book movies, do you expect to kind of walk away with tears in your eyes? I mean, I do remember a lot of people crying at the end of Avengers: Infinity War, or like
I
the young
didn't.
kids in the crowd had a
I
reaction. Oh
fucking
no,
cheered when Spider-Man
Black
died. I
Panther
fucking
died. Like
hated
it's like,
Tom
oh
Holland at that
no.
point.
I'm
Fuck that.
like,
I
well,
was cheering. My
and
my friend actually, although sorry, a bit off topic,
yeah.
a friend of mine, he hates Iron Man as a character. Like he
Oh
just hates
yeah.
him in general. He likes a couple
Damn.
different versions here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but like for the most part, he hates Iron Man as a character. So when he died at the end of Avengers Endgame, he was cheering and the entire theater booed him. I'm like, if I was a
Damn.
fly on the wall during that, I would have fucking loved to have seen it.
But he got up and gave him the slow clap. Like,
No, he was just like, woo! And then the
yeah.
entire theater booed him. It
If that
was.
was opening weekend, people might have like beat him up and kicked him out of the theater.
I don't know if it was opening weekend, but I think it was like the first or second weekend. That was. I wish
Dude,
I was there. I'm
yeah.
like, why didn't you invite me? What if you were doing that? Why didn't you invite me? I think I had already seen the movie by that point, but I'm like, duh, I would have seen it again just for that experience.
But dude, I'm just yeah, like I'd be I'm down with like Hurt. I think as a song that would be a great pick. For me, I also continued in the same direction with my first pick, and after Bad Romance, I was like, why not do Poker Face? Like let's do that. Like again, another one of those like, iconic Lady Gaga songs, and just Poker Face. I mean, he's the Joker. Like it just
He's the Joker,
works. Like
baby.
yeah, it's perfect. It's so it's just the perfect kind of music. And you look at, I mean, again, you don't have to do the original version. You can adapt it. You can revoice it. You can do a different instrumentation. And
Hmm. Oh yeah, of
of
course.
course, here we're getting like what looks like a reference to the first movie where they had just
Hmm.
Joker. Like introduce me as Joker, will you? And then like here now it's Joker and Harley, and they're on that TV studio
And
set.
they'll get what they
And
fucking deserve.
yeah. And then you get into this stuff. I mean, the most recent movie this reminded me of as a musical was La La Land. There's a dance sequence between, and a whole song and dance between
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling and why am I forgetting
he's
her
just
name?
Ken.
He's well I'm talking about La La Land, but yes.
Well, he'll
Emma
for
Stone,
now at
yeah.
this point. He even said on
He's
SNL,
Ken.
I'm
Yes.
gonna be Ken for the rest of my life. I'm
For the
gonna be
rest of my
Ken.
life, yeah, dude, I love that the opening monologue. I just couldn't get enough of that, yeah, that
I
show was fire.
just
I
finally
loved it.
watched. I finally got the time to watch Papyrus 2, and I'm like,
You,
oh,
dude,
perfect. I'm
yes,
like, oh yes,
and
they brought it back. I'm like, they got Ryan Gosling back on. We got
yeah,
Water a
yeah,
couple years ago.
Wingdings,
Perfect.
and then he end with the Comic Sans font at the end. I'm like, yes, this is
And
great.
Wingdings. Don't forget Wingdings.
Wingdings, yep,
I
and then it's
couldn't.
got
I
like the
just.
wingdings.
My father was just hard man to understand.
Understand? Just like, yep.
Anyway, let's not get on
Mm-hmm.
tangents, or else this will be fucking
Um.
3 hours long.
Yep. So moving on to your next pick. This is kind of, I thought that there were some sequences in this movie, the trailer, that sort of like matched up well with what you were going for. So tell us about your next pick.
This was, I think, I don't know if it was in the trailer or if it was teased. I think it was in the slogan for one of the trailers. But "Put on a Happy Face," which was originally sung by Dick Van Dyke in the musical slash film of Bye Bye Birdie, and very good film, very good musical. And I feel like that just makes perfect sense. Like I think it was I think it was in the tagline in one of the trailers, like "Put on a Happy Face."
Mm-hmm.
Like that's I know like the meaning of the song would not be the same in terms of the context, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that would be a good like opening overture song.
Yeah.
like over the opening credits, I feel like Put on a Happy Face would make a lot of sense. And
Yep.
so yeah, I think that would overall be very good. Just like it's simple, you know. Because I think Frank Sinatra might have done a cover of it, and that would be great because I know there was a couple Frank Sinatra songs in the original film. So I just think that that would just, you know, it's Joker, put on a happy face. I know it's simple, but like when it's there, it's there. You got to use it, and when you use it as like a tagline for one of your trailers, and you don't use it in your film, you got to
Right.
use it again. So you know, I feel like,
Like,
hey, come on,
yes.
you got to do it now. You got
That
to
would be
do
also
it.
a
Like,
very Martin Scorsese-esque use of the song, where like, like it's some happy song, or also like certainly uh why am I blanking on, yeah, Quentin Tarantino. Sorry, just bad with names today. Quentin
mhm.
Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, where like they're, you see a fight sequence going down, something gory is happening, and they're playing some happy song. That completely changes the context of how you remember like what that's, so definitely the opposite of what the original song is probably meant for. So this would be perfect for that. I think you're right.
Mhm.
And certainly, yeah, it's a big payoff to that was a big part of the marketing for the first movie was put on a happy face, and they would use the whole shot of him sort of like smearing the blood or something, the paint on his face and smiling. Um, so yeah, that would be a good pick. And when you look at what we have in the trailer here, like look at this. This right here would be it could be this possibly. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um
I
yeah.
could definitely, and I yeah, I could definitely see it within the film as well. I could see Joaquin Phoenix, you know, maybe something goes wrong and
Mm-hmm.
like Harley's like unsure if she should do this, whatever they're doing, and Joker just says, put on a happy face.
On a happy
So,
face.
and like he like maybe
Yeah.
like he maybe they're like bleeding or something, and he like grabs a bit of blood and just like on her face,
Oh.
put on a happy
Yep.
face, like kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
she does with the lipstick in the when
Mm-hmm.
he's behind glass, I assume, because he's still in the asylum, and he like does that, like he grabs a little bit of
Yeah.
blood and just, you know, puts
I
a
mean
happy
that
face
part,
in her. That would
yeah,
be
like
really cool.
I was always wondering, like, since I've been thinking about the trailer, I'm like, so what is the sequence of events going on here? Because at one point we feel like seems like they're both on the inside, but then also she's on the outside, but then they both end up on the outside. I'm like, I don't know what the chronology of all this is going to be,
Maybe again, little
but
quick theory. Maybe she
yeah,
was on the outside, but she just becomes so obsessed with Joker that she does something that they eventually throw her in the asylum. Like she meets him.
right,
That's where the lipstick scene comes from, and she eventually just gets so obsessed with him that she does something that will get her thrown into the asylum, and that's what happens. And then they like do their thing, and then they break out together and then do whatever they need to do to get vengeance on society, because we do live in a society. So I feel like
yeah,
uh
yes, we definitely do. That's still definitely very much the case. Um, so yeah, I mean, my next pick. Let me actually pull that up. I thought this would be a great fit because there's again um there's that sequence where they're dancing. Let me find that sequence, and then they're just kind of out and about. Like yeah, they're literally look at this. They're it looks like it's raining, and to, they're definitely dancing, but they're probably also singing. And
mhm,
when you're dancing and singing in the rain, then you gotta like go for singing in the rain. Like why
yeah,
not? Like again, like don't have to
just
use
like
the original
really like
version,
yeah, Gene
but
Kelly just I think
yeah,
it was, what was it, he filmed that scene with 103 fever,
yeah,
and like
uh
just
huh,
fucking sucked it up and was like, fuck it, I'm doing this, I don't care.
mm-hmm,
So and he did it, so
yep,
goddamn.
mm-hmm,
And also tap dancing and roller skates, so you know, just the power
dude,
of
yeah,
Gene Kelly, I guess.
crazy. It's just and like Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, like they're performers, and like they love the challenge. I think this would be a perfect song. And it seems like because Todd Phillips has said this isn't really truly a musical in the traditional sense. I mean, I'm totally down for like if this is more like we're just gonna get like quick sequences of song and
Hmm.
dance, and then we just kind of the story keeps going. And it's not
Yeah,
like it's a true musical where you get like a
right, right, right.
4 or 5 minute performance every 10 odd minutes. And if so, then yeah, I mean, I think they can totally just dive into all of these references, and Singing in the Rain would be just, it's one of those classics. I mean, who doesn't know Singing in the Rain?
Yeah.
If you're a fan of musicals, like it's it's an essential must watch. And yeah,
Right.
that would be a perfect fit. And it seems like, they're already going to be paying homage. If you go by, what was it, the name of the song was This Is Entertainment, I believe, right? Like that's the Judy
That's
Garland one.
Entertainment
That's
from,
Entertainment.
yeah,
Yeah.
sung by Judy Garland originally. Yeah.
So it looks like they're already going to be paying homage a lot to
Yeah.
you know classic Hollywood. So why not? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Might as
All
well
right.
keep the train going of,
Yeah.
musical songs.
Yeah.
But I thought, I was like, I really want another musical song. And I was thinking, and I looked up some popular ones, and I'm like, yeah, what could work? I'm like, oh, that could work. And then I looked up the meaning behind it, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And it is what is declared the single biggest popular hit to come out of any Rodgers and Hammerstein show, and even Andrew Lloyd Webber, can't talk. Andrew Lloyd Webber describes it as the greatest song ever written for a musical, and that is Some Enchanted Evening from South Pacific. And I feel like I'm like, oh, like again, when they're out on the town, maybe they just broke out, they're like,
Mm-hmm.
they're having some enchanted evening. But also the meaning behind the song, as described, is a 3-verse solo for the leading male character, in
Mm-hmm.
which he describes first seeing a stranger, knowing that he will see her again, and dreaming of her laughter. If that isn't perfect for the context of Joker Folie Deux, I don't know what is.
Yeah. That's
So I
perfect.
think that
Yeah.
very much works. And South Pacific, it's another classic. And it's like one of the most popular songs of all time. So you know what? I think it works, and it could work in a lot of different contexts. Whether that's what the context is. Like, he sees Harley for the first time, and he becomes like, he knows that, like, he's destined to be, like, it's their destiny to meet again, and they will share laughter with one another. And or it could also be like, literally, they are on an enchanted evening, they just broke out of the asylum, they're like causing chaos wherever they go, and then ironically it starts playing Some Enchanted Evening, and you could do something like that. I think that, again, as with what I'm trying to think of, is like different types of context for these songs. Like, Put on a Happy Face could, or Hurt could be in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different places with this movie. And that's what I aimed for here. Some Enchanted Evening, I think, could be played at a ton of different places, and it's extremely popular. South Pacific is a great show, great movie. So
Mm-hmm.
it is on this poster, the greatest musical ever. So might as well use some songs from it. So I think,
Yeah.
you know, and, go back a little bit, go back to the South Pacific poster. I think it's kind of interesting. John Carr, aka
Mm-hmm.
Joe Kerr. That's pushing it, but you know
John
what?
Kerr.
I will
Okay.
take it.
I mean, all right, okay. That's a bit of, yeah, it's a bit of a reach, but I'll give it to you. You gotta get rid of the N and then maybe one less R, and then delete the space in the middle. But that I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah,
I think that's clever. I
I
like
accept
it.
your premise.
I mean, this is perfect because yeah, it looks like we've already gotten a hint that there's gonna be a couple of very musical, as like you're gonna have a set, and then they're dancing, but um they said like they're gonna have like 15 songs
Yeah, they
potentially in
said
this, and then maybe
15,
some
so
more
that's
beyond that.
about
I'm
as
like,
much
that's
as what Joker had, I believe. I'm gonna look that up really quickly.
but
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 that
but
was
in
like,
that sense, I'm like, it can't be the same thing where you have literally like each song is a full blown 4 or 5 minute sequence. I'd imagine that what
right.
you're like going to be getting is something a little bit different. And
So yeah, there
yeah.
was about 16 songs, some classic, some not, that were, well, not included on the album. Um, but they were, used in the film, and there were, you had Smile by Jimmy Durante, which was in one of the trailers. You had That's Life by Frank Sinatra, Send in the Clowns by Frank Sinatra. So you had a bunch of those in the first film. So I feel like we're just kind of trying to, you know, fit that vibe. So Um, but yeah, I think we're kind of trying to fit that in there. So I feel like that makes sense. Like you had 16 in the first movie in terms of songs that were in the film, and then
Yeah.
continuing
It'd be
that streak
perfect. Fly
here.
Me to the Moon, yeah, because it's also just it has a certain level of romanticism to it, so definitely that could be used in a part of the movie where Joker is sort of like swooning over Harley, and
Hmm.
then later on, of course, the tragedy of like you said, hurt. Like I think we with these songs, we're almost like this is gonna fit in these very specific parts of the timeline. And yeah, the precedent is there. Frank Sinatra music was
Oh yeah, I
essential
think
part of the first
we're
Joker.
gonna definitely get a Frank
Yeah,
Sinatra song. We got
yeah,
two of or three of them
yeah.
in the last film, so it makes sense that we get another one here.
Mm-hmm.
My Way would definitely be a good one. That's like his most popular song.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like My Way would that was not an official song. I just thought of that. So I'm like, My Way could be good because that's definitely
That could be a
a,
great way to end the movie. That could be a great credits
yeah.
song too. Like
Yeah, like with how it
depending on how the
like that's
movie
a
ends.
when you listen to the lyrics, that's a
Yeah.
really good villain song. Like I did
Mm-hmm.
it my way, and it's just like
Yeah.
it just like kind of worked. Like I don't care, I did it my way. Like that, I
Yeah.
feel like that fits with a lot of different types
Mm-hmm.
of villains. So, but that's not an official pick for me. That was just going off of Fly Me to the Moon.
No,
So
no. Fly Me to the Moon. Yeah.
honorable mention. So
Yes, definitely. I mean, hey, we got room. They got 15 songs to fill out, so I think we've got
so
room here. But
yeah.
yeah, what's your next pick?
Well, it wouldn't be me if I didn't mention my own musical tastes. Music taste, not musical, music tastes. And I feel like going with like a classic like song about an asylum could maybe not be like full, but like kind of maybe like ringing in the background, like maybe like a sting, like uh like when like we see Arthur in the asylum, like they play this for like a second. I could see Welcome Home by Metallica, Welcome Home Sanitarium by Metallica. I feel like that just like having an asylum song or a song about an asylum, I just feel like that just kind of works. I mean they're in asylum. It's about an asylum,
Yep.
sanitarium,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it works.
That could be like it could
And
be playing over the PA system or something in the background. Like that could be how the movie literally starts. I don't know if the opening shot of the trailer is how the movie will start, maybe,
right.
but that could be when we first meet Arthur Fleck in jail. So that could be playing in the background. I
Yeah,
see that.
so I did look it up. Welcome Home slash Sanitarium was based on the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and
Yeah.
conveys the thoughts of a patient unjustly caged in a mental institution. So it's about a guy who's doesn't feel like he belongs there and wants to
Mm-hmm.
get the hell out. So he's but he's like but he's still like technically insane. So I feel like that works. And to a much lesser extent, I will this is a bit of an honorable mention because it's another song I like very much, more recent song, and it's about a patient for in an asylum, Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. I feel like I don't think he would use these songs. I don't think he would use metal songs because that definitely wouldn't fit the vibe. Like at least with Hurt, you can like kind of fit that in somewhere. They
Mm-hmm.
metal doesn't fit here, but like you know what? Again, a man can dream. I say that a lot, but a man can dream, and I dream that they definitely use some Metallica or Ozzy Osbourne in there. So you know what? Please,
Yeah.
but like I get that if they wouldn't use it, obviously I'm not gonna watch the movie. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden. Like I get it, they're not gonna do that, but like that would
Yeah.
be awesome if they just put a little bit of a sting in there, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm into it.
So
I'm so into it. Yeah. Dude, this would be perfect. It's also like we have seen, I think, in the first Suicide Squad, they use music. I thought they used music quite
yeah,
well.
Peacemaker, Peacemaker as well.
Peacemaker. Yeah, another great one. Yeah. My dude, then I'm just like you're making all these like great picks where it's like you did the research on the lyrics and you figured out like, how it fits into the story. And then I was just like having way too much fun with this. So I picked
You know
the
what?
Lady Gaga music.
I just get
And
obsessed over this stuff. Don't feel bad, or now I feel
I
bad.
mean
Like I
it's
don't want you to feel bad or anything. Like you're not like doing like oh you're not doing the no. It's just like I love music so much,
Mm,
and I feel like I just like something how I'm like how this could
yeah,
work, how this could not. Like I don't know. Like come on, Welcome Home is not gonna fit in this movie. I just love the song too much, you know.
right.
So don't feel too bad. Like I don't want you to feel bad.
Well,
Like oh.
yeah, you know this. I'll give you some time to think on that, because my next pick, my last pick that I have is the Black Eyed Peas. Just can't get enough, because I was just like, yes, I would love to hear just Black Eyed Peas randomly in the Joker movie. It's so not what this movie looks like, but like some way they gotta, like, maybe they do a re-recording of some kind. I'm just like, throw that in there. I just had too much fun with that image you sent me, and I'm like, if Smash Mouth is on, in consideration, then why not Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah,
So
in consideration, yeah.
yeah,
But
I'm
but
into it.
yeah,
I mean, I
no,
don't know
I think
where
that
this
could be
would
fun.
fit, but this could be part of the whole when they're falling in, for each other
Yeah, they
apart.
can't get enough of each other, so they
Just
just can't
yeah,
get enough. Yeah.
just
I
can't
think
get enough.
I haven't listened to
Yeah,
I don't think I've listened to this song, so I
very
don't know the
literal.
context.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that could be fun. Definitely.
I mean, a little bit of Will I Am, like, auto tuned vocals in the middle of a Joker movie. Like, come on now. Like that okay. I'm being facetious a little bit, but also not, because I would be like, that would be the ballsy move to, like, actually, like, go for it. And Joaquin Phoenix would not shy away from that challenge, I'm sure. So I'm all for it. I'm just laughing at the fact I looked at it. I'm like, oh shit, I left that in there. I thought I did that for funsies, and then I was gonna take it out of the list, but it's still there. So I'm gonna stick with it.
All right.
Okay. So back to the picks that actually matter, the ones that you did some research on.
I know it
What
could
you
work. Um, but the
you
last
got
one
next?
I chose, as well as an honorable mention, I have the next major choice I have is "People Are Strange" by the Doors. Like maybe like it's a day in the life of Arthur in the asylum, and he's just kind of looking around, and people are strange. So, or like maybe he's out in the world and he's like seeing it, and like he doesn't recognize the world
Mhm.
anymore. So this is like, or like because he's on such a level of insanity that looking at sane people is just not right. It's just strange to him. So I feel like
Yeah.
that could fit in a lot of different aspects. And people are sharing the Doors. I feel like that fits in like more so than Metallica and Ozzy, fitting into more like of what Todd Phillips would work, because he did a lot of like classic rock songs in addition to like kind of musical songs.
Mhm.
So I feel like that could definitely fit here. And with that, I would like to see uh actually showcased. My honorable mention is
Yeah.
"Laughing" by the Guess Who, which was in the makeup um test
Mhm.
for Joker that Todd Phillips posted, I think, on Instagram, when that was like the first like look we got of Joaquin Phoenix in the makeup. I would like to
Mhm.
see that utilized more. Like if like this is the music movie and we didn't actually get that in the film, I'd like to see that in the film. Laughing by the Guess Who, because it's a good song, and I feel like it's just like such a weird song. Like if you listen to it, like it's just weird. Like I can't like it definitely had like like in the 60s they were kind of experimenting, that kind of thing. So I feel like that could like work. And
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
the concept is like he's laughing, so he's the
Yeah.
Joker. He's the Joker, baby. But yeah, I
Mhm.
feel like People Are Strange, Put on a Happy Face, Some Enchanted Evening, and Hurt would probably fit the best. I'd like to see like a small like sting of like Welcome Home or Patient Number 9, even though that probably wouldn't fit. I would like to
Mhm.
see, and then I'd like to see, this utilized fully, because I
Yeah.
feel like it's just kind of too perfect. It definitely fits the weirder, like acid trippy vibe that this is probably going to go for, even more so than the first one. So I'm all for it. I think my songs are good. I think your songs are good. I think, if we definitely nail it, I think we're
Yeah.
on to something. Todd Phillips, give us a call. You know,
please give us a call, because clearly they're still trying to figure out some of these songs. So like, please, watch, if you watch this, then take it into consideration. I mean, if not Smash Mouth, then some Lady Gaga songs. I mean, maybe I'm Just Ken can go in there somewhere. Maybe you go to and do like a quick
I'm
reshoot,
just
just
Fleck.
to I'm just like what was the rest of it? I just forget. I'm forgetting the lyrics right now.
Yeah,
Can
it's
you
just
remind
I'm
me?
we they only you only remember I'm just Ken. Like that's the only thing
No,
you
it's
remember.
like Anywhere Else I'll be a 10. What was it? The Blonde Fragility. Yeah, it's I love it. Doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two. No one knows how hard I try.
Hey, did you
I,
just look up the lyrics?
yeah, I have
Yeah.
feelings that I can't explain, driving me insane all my life, being so polite. But I'll sleep alone tonight. Dude, this could be the breakup song for Arthur Fleck. That would be so perfect. That's exactly where that should come in. Can you imagine? They could just totally flip the switch on it completely. And it would be the most meta thing, because clearly Ken is still a phenomenon, and um, yeah, I mean, I'll be down.
You'd be like, I'm
Uh,
just me. Like just something like that.
By the way, I realized that this here is not actually Arthur Fleck. It's one of the guys chasing him earlier, and it looks like he's beating up Arthur Fleck in the sequence.
Hmm.
Um, at least that's what it seems like. Unless this is literally like towards the end of the movie where Joker's gone completely off, the chain. Who knows? I mean, his makeup is pretty much covering up all of
I
it.
love this.
Hey,
I love this scene, and I
yeah.
love seeing him dragged in the asylum. I'm like,
Uh,
oh, look so good. They look so
it's like
good.
I mean, I don't know how to put into to words for you just how shocked in the best way possible I was, like, watching this trailer. I'm like, could they top the first movie? Because it very much seemed like it was a singular phenomenon, and then of course it wasn't like they immediately were like, we're gonna make a sequel. This very much felt like they had to put the plan together, and Todd Phillips had to come up with a good idea to make a commitment. And
Hmm.
I mean, DC's in a good place right now. Like, I'm just as a fan of comic movies, as a fan of DC, I like what we have on the way. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I know you're not a big fan of the Penguin trailer, but like, I'm like, it looks like it looks like a
I
good
just
extension
don't
of the
want to put
Batman.
my trust in
So,
DC fully again because I've been scorned many times before, and I don't want to be
mhm,
scorned again. So
that's
I'm
fair. I
just
mean, and
cautious.
like the last movie that Joaquin Phoenix did, Napoleon, was not exactly a big
I
hit.
liked it. I thought it
I
was
mean, yeah,
good.
well,
I think
it had
everyone
its
was just like everyone thought Napoleon was just this like fucking super amazing like military god when in reality he was just this dorky fucking incel that was a simp. But people were like, what, it breaks my illusion. So all the fucking like people that were obsessed with him and made fucking memes about him were all crying in a corner because he wasn't
mhm,
like this fucking amazing super god of like amazingness, but he was just this fucking simp, this loser simp that just
mhm,
had really good charisma and was really good at making a legend. So, you know
yeah.
what? Cry about it some more. That's all I gotta
Cry Me a
say.
River. Speaking
Yeah,
of songs for the movie.
no. No. That's where
I
I draw the line.
draw the line. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, also Lady Gaga, House of Gucci, like that wasn't the most well received film of her recent portfolio. So I mean, both these actors, while they have incredible, resumes of just doing some of the best work that we have seen come out of Hollywood over the last 20 odd years. Um, I mean, of course, you can't argue the fact that they deserve to be in the position that they are, and they may be taking a big paycheck home for this movie. But I tell you what, the teaser trailer looked like it was worth every penny. And if it's just a hint at what we're gonna get from the full film, even if it's not perfect, even if it is slightly off the mark and misses a few marks along the way, I'm there for it. Like, it's just also the cinematography is just looks amazing, and it looks like the movie has a singular vision. Just going off the trailer alone, it looks like the movie has a singular vision, and that's Todd Phillips's vision. Joker Folie Deux. I can't wait for that. Guys, like, what do you think about the music choices that we have? Do you want a lot of Lady Gaga music in there? Do you want Johnny Cash? Do you want the Nine Inch Nails? Do you want some Metallica in there? Maybe some Frank Sinatra that we got in the first movie, or even some more of Singing in the Rain. Not more, but like I would love to get. I've been waiting for a movie to use Singing in the Rain because that just for some reason because it's so iconic. Most movies sort of shy away from it, but like I mean, Joker has been an exercise in ballsiness for DC because the first movie was not even supposed to exist. It's kind of like the DC's version of Deadpool, and yet here we are
Here we
given a
are.
sequel that could
Huge
potentially be
success,
another
made a
billion-dollar
billion,
movie. So
was legendary.
yeah.
So you know what? Fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, I can't wait to see what the soundtrack looks like. That's one of my favorite things to do whenever a movie comes out. I'm like, I go and find the soundtrack, and usually they release it a bit early. So even if you get to before you get to the theater, you can listen to the music of the film, the songs, and yeah. I mean, hey, look, James Gunn is the in charge now at DC Studios, and he certainly knows how to pick a song or two from for the movies. And
Oh
Todd
yeah,
Phillips did one hell of a job at Joker. So Joker Folie Deux, I can't wait for what they come up with here. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Of course, if you have some song casting of your own to do, then drop that right, in the comments on YouTube. Of course, if you're watching on Facebook, anywhere else, you can drop that there as well. And come back here, next week. We'll be doing lots more DC news, whether it's breaking news, like we had a new Superman casting news earlier this week. We have been talking about, Teen Titans recently a lot. We've been talking about, of course, Superman the movie, or just Superman, because Superman the movie is the 1978 version. We were talking about the Penguin, Creature Commandos, Dead Boy Detectives. There's a lots of new DC content out there. So go out there and enjoy some DC content, then come back to us and talk to us all about it because we love to hear from you. As always, John, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you
indeed.
back here on the next episode of DC Daily.